name is Jere Pilapil. I know what you're thinking, that's a weird name, but it's a very simple explanation. Jere is short for Jeremy, and Pilapil is just a fistful of Scrabble tiles! I have a name that sounds like an island I could be from. Imagine tourism, come to Jere Pilapil, we got sunshine on Tuesdays, no refunds! Can I tell you about myself? Last year I had to get knee surgery. I hate to sound like a stereotype, but I messed up my knee in a terrible karaoke accident. People ask me two questions when I say that. One is how? How do you mess up your knee in a terrible karaoke? Well, it was very simple. I was dancing, doing my thing, and then I did a move like this, and I heard a pop. And my knee just gave out and tore my ACL.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really bad. You don't know, an ACL tear is a ligament in the knee that just tears. It happens to football players when they're pushing the human body past the limit of what it's capable of. I got it doing the safest thing you can do when you're drunk. The second question I get is, did you finish the song? Yeah, I finished the song. Because in that moment I was like, if I dance anymore, my knee's going to get worse. It's going to be terrible. But then I thought, if Taylor Swift can accomplish everything she's accomplished while constantly nursing a broken heart, I can finish Baby Got Back. So the day of my surgery, I was in the hospital room with my sister, she was my ride, and the doctor came in. I don't know why people got this fight. I'm not going to drive right after knee surgery on painkillers. That sounds so fun though. But the doctor comes in, he's like, so before I do surgery, I'm going to have to put my initials on your knee so that I know which knee to do surgery on. I'm like, it makes me nervous that you're nervous, doctor. Go right ahead, whatever you need. And he takes out a Sharpie, gets ready to put the initials on my knee, and just before the Sharpie touches, my sister goes, wait, Doc, hold on! I thought it was his left knee. I thought his left knee was a screwed up one. And he looks at the chart, and he's like, oh, yeah, you're right. I'm sorry about that. Well, you really do need that marker, don't you? So like he leaves, and just as he leaves, my sister goes, why didn't you say anything? And to be honest with you guys, the reason I didn't say anything to him was because I thought the doctor was playing chicken. I thought he was testing my manhood. And I know I don't have a lot of manhood to test. I look like an undercover cop at a stamp collector convention. The day after I got knee surgery, my girlfriend dumped me. Good sympathetic sounds, thank you very much. That's exactly how I felt. And we were talking, she was like, well, I just don't love you the way I used to. And I was like, well, why'd you have to dump me today, the day after I got knee surgery while I'm still bedridden? And she goes, well, and we were texting, but I imagine she stood like this. Well, I thought about visiting you when you got home from the hospital. Then I realized I don't care enough to take the train. And they only give you painkillers for the physical pain! I'm the first guy to get dumped by, it's not you, it's the tea. Had to tell it here, train station. I've been thinking about like weird places I've done stand-up. Like I've done stand-up in the back of a U-Haul truck twice. I've done it in the attic of a friend's place, and I've done it in the basement of another friend's place, so my career's on down, downhill, literally. And then I thought that's the lowest you can go, but then I was scheduled to do a show at a backyard, someone's backyard, and I was like, oh, they can kick you out of the house all the way. And I thought that's as low as you can go. Then they canceled the show. So now, I have no idea where a train station falls on the spectrum, but it's good to be indoors again. I am like optimistic about things. Like even though I'm single now, you know, I make my moves. You know, like the other night, I managed to have sex in a dream. Almost. I was in this dream with a lady. We're making out very hot, but you see me, it goes well. And I stop her. I'm like, listen, we can't go any further. I forgot to bring condoms. And she was like, you're in a dream. You can do anything, you can get anything. You imagine, we'll do it. This is a dream, this is your world. And I was like, oh my God, you're right, I'm so stupid. I'll wake up, get some condoms, and come back! I was on my way here, not literally, but my whole life led to this moment. And I saw this bumper sticker that bothered me. It was not that bad. It was on the back of a Ford truck. And what it said was, my truck was made with wrenches, not chopsticks. Yeah, I like a racist. Touched for the very first time. And it made me think, like, well, let's say somebody made a truck with chopsticks instead of wrenches. They won! That's a miracle! If I served up a birthday cake made out of gym socks and glue sticks, they'd be like, he's a wizard! Kill him! But I'd still die a wizard! Magic is everywhere! I hope there's like an equivalent bump sticker in Japan. Like something that's like, my sushi was made from raw fish, not home run! This guy going, on the sticker. I bet that bumper sticker wasn't even like racially motivated at all. It was just some guy in a Ford factory, some executive being like, you know how we're gonna sell our cars now? We're gonna let people know we use the proper tools when assembling our automobiles. Okay, you figure it out. You do not want me as a roommate. I know I'm adorable, but I'm housebroken, don't worry about that. But I have lived in 3 apartments and 2 of them have gotten robbed. That's a terror. I'm bad luck. I gotta be bad luck. Because like, the first time wasn't so bad. I lived in Amherst, Massachusetts. I was in college with a roommate, and like some guys or girls, I guess, I'm not sexist, broke in and just grabbed as much of our liquor as they could and ran out the door. It's not so bad. We were joking about it as we were cleaning up. Like, I'd go through the bar and I'd be like, Ryan, look! They took the vermouth. But they left the gin. Well, what are they gonna do? Drink the shitty half of the martini? Second time I got robbed, a lot worse. I lived in Palmer, Massachusetts alone. Has anybody been to Palmer? You people, yeah, I'm sorry. Like, if you haven't been there, the way you get to Palmer, Massachusetts is you get on the Mass Pike and you keep driving west and then you stop when your life has passed you by. Terrible neighborhood. I got robbed there. I got home at 2 in the morning after a show and I was exhausted. I took out my key to unlock my door and I was so tired I missed the keyhole and the door just swung open. All my stuff was gone. But I was so tired that my reaction wasn't like, oh God, this is terrible. My reaction was, holy shit, my key is magic! I've been turning it like a chump! They took all my stuff, my computer, my video games, guitars, everything. Oh, it's terrible. And like the cop tried to be so optimistic about it. He was like, you know, so someone's gonna plug in that computer of yours, you're gonna connect to the internet, and then when they connect to the internet, we'll triangulate their location with our cop technology. He used the phrase cop technology. That sounds like a thing you made up. And I realized, like, I was sure that they were going to be able to do anything when I got the police report back, and they filled out my name, my address, but under ethnicity, it just said, not Hispanic. I guess in Palmer, Massachusetts, ethnicity is a yes or no question. And I do not have it. Just imagine the cop at a desk being like, well, he was a brown, but not a brown I've seen in nature. You guys like drinking stories? Alright, I'm gonna do this. I quit drinking 9 months ago, but not for any sad reason. I quit drinking for like the same reason Michael Jordan decided to play baseball at one point. Like, he was so good at basketball. And he just went on to another sport. That's like how I quit drinking. I was a fucking champ. So this is sort of the last night I ever went drinking. I went on a date with a lady, made a big move on the online dating scene. Yeah, that's right. I upped my height to 5'5". And we went out to a bar to watch this band. And I had too many to drink. You know you've had too many to drink when all your drink orders begin with, "Hell yeah, I'll have!" But I was like so drunk that I was ordering like, "Hell yeah, I'll have a Jack and Coke," but making it Diet Coke, because I'm a skinny boy, bitch. And so I have an empty glass, or not empty, it had ice in it, and I'm just watching this band rocking out, like sucking on this ice in this glass, and the girl on my table turns to me and she goes, "You know, they say, when you suck on ice like that, it means you're sexually frustrated." And I turned to her without even thinking, just like that, like, "Oh yeah? What are you gonna do about it?" Oh, I should just drop the mic and go. Cut to we go back to her place, we're making out, it's going well, and I get my hands behind her back, and I start to unclasp my watch. And I take my watch off, and I just whip that thing across the room. She has to stop making out with me, pick up the watch, and drop it in front of me on her bed. And she's like, "Why? Why did you just throw your watch across the room like that?" And I swear this is how I responded. I laid back on her bed, spread out, Christ pose, and said with all the seriousness in the world, "I need to feel the air on all over my skin while we do this." And I did. And it was fine. I think that's the last thing I remember from that night. I woke up in the backseat of my car, fully dressed.
Yeah.
And so maybe it didn't happen, maybe it was just a dream, maybe it was abducted by aliens, who knows? But my watch was upside down, you tell me!
That was a riot. I haven't been on a date in so long. I do remember the first person that I ever dry humped. Does everyone remember that person? Everyone's been dry humped or dry humped someone, right? Anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Okay. I do. His name was D. Morey. He was a library aide, and I was a freshman in high school, and I didn't know that getting dry humped by a library aide that drove his mom's Crown Vic while she was a nurse at night wasn't good. And that's lesson learned. Lesson learned. He was the only guy that wanted to hang out with me. So, give it up. We have one more comedian that we saved for last. He's a crowd favorite, everybody. I like to call him Brucey, but I just know. You guys give it up for Bruce Jenkins.
But you know, all the professional comedians go first, and they put me out last. I've done this fucking 20 years. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I gotta get out. I mean, I know Debbie a long time. I can talk. What the fuck? This guy won the improv Boston. I'm not here for this guy. Hey, everybody's so funny. Thanks a lot.
You asked to go last. You got this, Bruce.
Hey, wait. Jere was very funny, and Tara. Let's give it up for Tara. Tara's funny all night long. I can hear blowjob jokes all night long, baby. Yeah. Hey, if you ever want to get at somebody, tell them they're hung like a lowland gorilla. Hey, baby, you hung like a lowland gorilla. It turns out a lowland gorilla has an average penis size of about 2 inches. And humans are the best well-hung primates on the planet. I know Planet of the Apes might be better ones there. And the reason is, well, who knows why the reason is? Does anybody know? Like, why do we have big schlongs? Oh, here we have somebody over here. Yes, what's the reason?
It's because that humans are not, like, the smaller your junk, the more loyal you're going to be to your mate.
Well, there is this thing called sperm competition. And it turns out that gorillas and rhesus monkeys have giant testicles, as rats do as well. And the reason is that because you're never sure who banged the monkey before you. And so in order to make sure that you might be the father, you've got to pump out, and I'm thinking to myself, wait, I read a statistic that said the average ejaculate has about 500 million sperm. And isn't that fucking enough? I mean, how many do you need, a trillion? Wouldn't it be great though? Imagine the fashion consequences if humans had testicles as large as rhesus monkeys. I mean, literally they would be like, each one would be this big. And we would have like the leather pouch you would put down. Hey, everybody pimp my pouch. A TV show called Pimp My Pouch. No, honestly though, I hope you all know why we're here. I don't know if all you guys went to the website, saw a picture of Debbie's niece. That is the cutest little girl I ever saw. Let's give it up for Debbie and her niece, because that's why we're here. Like I said, of course, you guys know Debbie's gonna keep the money, right? I don't even fucking care though, because it got me out of my old comic ass up here on the stage. I haven't done this literally in 20 years. And comedy's like baseball. It takes timing, and it also takes material and being funny and delivery. But I worry about that later. I haven't done this in so long. I mean, it starts with the fact that when I used to do it, I did keep my day job. And so I think you pretty much know where this is going, especially with this act. And so I am a caddy at a miniature golf course. Yes, sir, I go to the putter here. Watch out for the windmill. Count to 3. By the time the thing gets to the top, hit the ball. And it's really almost all my parents' fault, really, because I wasn't really raised. I was brought up on charges when I was young. I mean, for years I thought raisins had 6 legs. You know what I mean? And my father was a man of many words: lazy, stupid, drunk, hit me around the corner. But I told my parents when they asked me, "Why are you such a fucking failure?" What a nice thing to say to your child. And I said, look, it took 4 billion years of evolution to raise these bipeds to take charge of the earth. What the hell did you expect out of 4 years of college? I mean, come on. In all reality, though, the problem is with doing stand-up comedy is, let's face it, it's a young person's game. We all know. Like, Paul McCartney was a great writer of catchy melodies, right? That guy could write a catchy melody like nobody's business. And then when he left the Beatles, Isaac Newton had his Annus Mirabilis when he was 23 years old. Albert Einstein when he was 26. Let's face it, probably all the good jokes come out when you're young, and then when you get old, you kind of get stuck in the middle of your act and you forget what you're talking about. My wife and I, we put an addition on our house. And I am married, by the way. I'm a mixed marriage. I'm a Presbyterian, my wife is a Jew. And what is interesting is that if you're a comedian, not having no ethnicity, being a Presbyterian, it just does not cut any cut. I'm not Italian, I don't have the Jewish thing going. My family's been in America for generations. I don't have any ancestors from the old country that I know about. And I mean the old country being Africa, the plains of the Serengeti, I get a little Neanderthal DNA too, like we all do, thank God. And, but anyway, so what I noticed is though, is that, most of the Jewish guys who are mixed marriages tend to marry, Christian women. So 80% of the mixed marriages are like, Jewish guy, Christian girl. And then most of the black guys you see that are in mixed marriages are with white women. And most of the Asian women you see are with white men. So this means that there's nobody left for the black women, right? And for the Asian men. So that means you have to go for the Asian men, you go for the black women. I think we'll complete the circle, and we're all going to be peaceful once again. We are the world. We are. I don't know, it's just a circle. You know what I'm saying? I love everybody, baby. I feel like I should be Tony Clifton up here, shouldn't I? Like, fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you get hard. You can go to extremes with unusual sexual regimes if you're get hard. But if you value your health, you play just for yourself, because I'm sure you'll find out. So the problem with getting old is pretty much everything. But aside from that, you do actually have a little more money usually than you did when you were young. Although, let's face it, most of us would trade that for being young again. So I put the addition on the house, and the old bathrooms had the mirrors that you could just see your face. And the interesting thing about faces is, you really don't notice you're getting old, you're just looking at your face. It happens very gradually. See, I know I got gray hair, but I still think, hey, I can have that 25-year-old girl anytime I want. If I had $1 billion in a basketball team, and I was senile and ignorant race, But the truth is, you really can't. I was reading Esquire magazine, and it was an article about how a man's body ages. Please don't read that article, because there's nothing good, there's no good news in there. The only good news is, if you happen to be nearsighted, as your eyes shrink and contract and harden, you get to correct your vision a little bit. I'm not nearsighted, I got nothing going for me. I do play basketball with the Over the Hill gang. I see none of the guys from the Over the Hill gang are here. I thought they would show up today, let's do that. But so guys like 35 to 60 years old who play basketball. And I got nailed in the forehead by one of the guy's elbows, because he was like 6'5", and I'm like 5'5", or whatever it is. I'm shrinking every day. It's another thing that happens when you get older, you start shrinking. Great! My father still lists on his license, he's 5'9". It's like, yeah, right, Dad, you're 5'9". Hello, Dad, yeah, Anyway, my poor father came from a family of giants. His sister's 5'10". And in any case, so my son, I come home, I'm bleeding. Who wants to go to the emergency room? Anybody who's seen the movie Harold and Maude? You know Harold and Maude, it was a movie about an 80-year-old woman and a 25-year-old guy who meet going to funerals, so they both like to go to funerals together. And then, of course, there was wedding crashers, because they want to go to weddings together. Meet the girls, and that's a good way to score. But nobody goes to emergency rooms to hang out. And so it's 9:30, I'm bleeding, because you know how it is, the skin is so thin here, you start bleeding like crazy. And I'm bleeding like crazy, and I'm thinking, should I go to the emergency room? Or my son looks at me and he goes, oh, Dad, he goes, you're all married, nobody cares what you look like. I'm like, nobody cares what I look like. How about if I go to school tomorrow wearing nothing but a pair of pink polka dot boxer shorts, a sign around my neck saying I have a shaved scrotum, and little eyes that pop out of the clown glasses, and I go, hey, is Lucas Jenkins here? Would you care about what I look like then? Come on, man. That'd be crazy. But, I suppose we do have an ego about our appearance, because you see the ladies with the blue hair and the lipstick all over the place, all dolled up to go out for their 5 o'clock dinner, and you're thinking to yourself, all I know is when I got into the new bathroom with the big mirror, going back to the bathroom, the mirror's on the left, it's just a little desultory here, I'm sorry. Yes, did you have something to say?
No, I'm agreeing with you.
Oh, good. Thank you very much. Agreement, lady, let's hear it. An applause for agreement. Everybody loves somebody sometime. So anyway, so I'm sitting there, and I'm thinking to myself, my wife wanted to put a big, huge mirror in the bathroom. Now, why would a middle-aged person want to put a big, huge mirror in the bathroom? I have no idea. So I walk in, I'm taking off my clothes the first time we go into the bathroom. I'm like, oh my God, who's that old guy in here with me? It's like the freaking man boobs are starting, and I unbuckled my belt, I got charged with carrying a concealed weapon downtown Boston. And I was like, so you're looking at that, and you're thinking to yourself, this is just no good at all. There's hairs going out of weird places on your body, like little growths that shouldn't be there. What the hell is that? And I think to myself, maybe I'm just a forebear of what's to come. Because in the future, we're going to be able to genetically engineer things much better. They give you stem cells now. Have you heard about this, to grow ears and noses? So if you're like a Danish astronomer who had his nose cut off in a duel over a woman, you can have a new nose grown in a petri dish, and you'll look much better, or ears. And now, this is absolutely true, last week they said you can grow a vagina in a petri dish. And I'm like, yeah, baby! But then, I'm going to use my own cells to grow a vagina. I got a good hand for that. What do I need a vagina for? Scarlett Johansson has a good business here. You got a cheek swab from Scarlett Johansson. Take it home and grow her vagina in your petri dish. Yeah, baby! I do like vaginas. I come from a generation, though, when it was more like bushmeat than it was a vagina. If you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody now, I read an article, this absolutely true story, it was a column in the New York Times, the online columns, which are not quite as newsy as the real New York Times. And it was a woman mortified that her 15-year-old daughter had shaved her hoo-ha, and that was the word they were using, hoo-ha. Now, down where I come from in the South, we call it cooter, but she wanted to call it a hoo-ha. And she goes, why is my daughter shaved her hoo-ha? Is she having sex? What is she doing? Who's she shaving it for? And I'm going, it's for a fucking web thing online. And of course, the webcam, I never got to that point where I was able to, savor that kind of stuff, except for that one time that, I never had an STD, not for lack of trying, believe me. But, I did actually have those little arachnids that happened one time. And I did have to shave, because that's one of these you do is shave to get rid of them. And the funny part of the story is it was my my girlfriend's birthday. She lived out of town. She's coming to visit. It's absolutely true story. I go, oh, I got a big surprise for your birthday. And then, of course, I forgot to buy the big surprise. I got a CD. And the big surprise was, and she wasn't happy at all. And, of course, you're wondering how you got it. The bad news about shaving down there is that when it starts to grow back, it's a thing called persistence length on the hairs. So when it gets to a certain length, it's very strong and stiff. And it sticks into the fibers of your underwear. And it goes like this and chases you all week long. So either you gotta stay bald, or you gotta go furry. There's only one way to be comfortable. Does anybody, I mean, this is like personal grooming, we're out of here. I got a little more. Am I over? No. Okay, just another hour and a half, guys. Just please. My wife got pregnant. She's worked at the post office, my wife. I go, does it come a special delivery? And she goes, hey, look, just bear with me. I go, I can't bear with you. No, so I was getting married to my wife, and bad puns. Hey, if there's a bad pun, please groan a little bit louder so I know. I just like to figure out how to read stuff from my. So I had the conversation when I was dating my wife for 4 years. And her father, he asked me, and it was so funny because it was like the exactly stereotypical thing. He goes, so exactly, what are your intentions towards my daughter? And I said, well, fuck the shit out of her until she gets old and fat and I'm dumping her. No, that's not what I said. Listen, can I say, hey guys, can I say for every guy here, I don't know about you women, but isn't it every guy's fantasy here to have sex with the same woman for the rest of your life? Raise your hand, guys. Yeah! All right, I love my wife. So, the next thing, one thing leads to another, and it's usually called a baby. So, I knock her up. Strange how that happens, right? And this is the thing about once you're married, ladies, if you want to get pregnant, no problem. I mean, unless you have a biological problem, because what guys